A couple weeks ago, I built an entire apartment building in The Sims 4, and you can't actually build like a real functional apartment in this game, but you can kind of pretend, which is what I've done. So it might look like an apartment, but in reality, it functions just like any other residential lot, and as far as the game is concerned, it's basically just one big giant house. This is the exterior, and I really tried to make it look like it could maybe be a real apartment building. And then on the inside, it's separated into 6 different units, and I've already furnished a couple of them, but I think today I might try and furnish one of these 2 smaller ones on the very top floor, which, by the way, for actual gameplay purposes would be really annoying. These are on the 4th floor, so for your Sims to get up here, they have to walk up and down 4 flights of stairs, which we all know they are not very fast at. Like, imagine if you had a toddler or a pet or something and they have to come all the way up and down these stairs every day. So again, not really the most practical for like actual gameplay, but I guess living in a building that has 6 units also is just not practical in The Sims 4. I made an entire video building the exterior of this, so if you want to watch that, I'll link it down below. And I've also made videos furnishing 2 of the apartments. I did this studio apartment and also this 3-bedroom apartment. And in those videos, I talked a little bit more about like how it might work if you wanted to play here. Like I said, you basically have to pretend. If I were going to play on this lot, I would probably just pick 1 or 2 units that I wanted to play in and then delete everything else. Maybe I would have one Sim live here and then her sister live in this one and then play with those 2 Sims but pretend they're living in 2 different houses. It's just hard when you have like a fully furnished 4-story house, both for like lag reasons and for money reasons, so it's a bit easier to leave the ones you're not actively using empty. And you obviously won't have like Bella Goth living down the hall or anything because it's just the people that are playing on your lot living here. But with those disclaimers out of the way, I wanted to decorate one of these 2 1-bedroom apartments upstairs. This one on the far right is probably the better one. It's got a little front door right here, a small kitchen and maybe dining area, a living room, a big bedroom, a bathroom, and 2 balconies. It sort of takes up all of this space on the far right of the building. Or we could do this smaller one in the middle. And if I'm being honest, I'm kind of leaning towards this smaller one. It's like an objectively worse apartment. It has no balconies, it's a lot smaller, but I kind of like that about it. It's got a really small kitchen when you first walk in, a bit of room for a living space, a smaller bedroom, and a smaller bathroom. But I kind of like the idea of trying to decorate this tinier space. One of the biggest things that I like so desperately want in The Sims 4 is to have smaller apartments. I feel like most of the ones that we have that are like the real apartments are way too big, and I'm constantly complaining about that. So I feel like this is our chance to do a smaller one for once. I had placed a few items in here just as kind of like placeholders when I put it on the gallery in case any of you downloaded it and wanted to try and decorate it, because that would make it a little bit easier to imagine, like, first of all, which apartment is which, and also sort of how I envisioned it being laid out. But I'm probably just gonna change everything about this. I haven't really thought about how I want this apartment to look. Maybe I could dig around and try and find a rug as like an inspiration or a starting point or something. I hate to say it, but I am really drawn to this zebra rug. I probably shouldn't do that, but like I'm really tempted. This one's kind of cool too, with like the shapes and the yellow and stuff. Maybe we could try and do something like that. There's also like an orange and the red one, but I don't know if I like the red one. I don't know if I've ever used this rug swatch. Oh, weird. Oh no. Oh my god. This is the problem with platforms in this game. You can't size the rug down because like technically it's this big, and so it's floating on the platform when you do that. And so even when it's sized down, it's like doing this weird thing. Okay, it fits like this. We'll have to see if that ends up working or not. I'm also just gonna paint all the walls white for a second to give us a blank canvas. Realistically, there's not a lot that we can fit in here, so we have to be very practical with this. And I would really like to have some sort of dining space. I don't know if we can actually make this work or not, but I think it would be super cool if we could have some bar stools this way. I'm just not sure if that will leave us enough space for like a real living room anywhere. I wonder if we did like a smaller cabinet or something. We just have to do some scooting of all of the objects. And then I guess like what, just a fridge? I probably can't put anything else next to it because it just won't work, will it? Maybe I could scoot the door over a bit too. Is that unreasonable? It's so small. Oh, and there's also no sink. Okay, well, I would really like to have some place to eat. Can I like scoot this into the wall more? How far? Okay, that's clipping. If we just try and get it as far into the wall as it lets us. This whole thing is gonna be like an exercise in space saving tips because we're gonna need as much extra space as we can get. I do like those yellow bar stools though. That's kind of fun. Oh my god. I don't like the rug floating, that's for sure. I'll have to think about that too. Maybe that could go in the bedroom instead. Oh dear. Okay. The cabinets look terrible. Like, what am I supposed to do about this situation? Do we put like open shelving there or something? Maybe we could fit shelves in. Okay, see, the shelves in the corner are actually kind of cool. And then we can like decorate them and stuff. I realize I still don't have a sink, but I'll get there. I'll figure it out. Is that even good? Should I like lower it? I think that's okay. I wonder how far into the wall I can put the fridge and have it still work. I might have to bring a sim up here and like test it. Oh wait, I can't rotate this around, can I? Dang it. That's because I put the end piece instead. I'd have to use a regular piece to have a sink. Is the regular piece even smaller though? I think it's the same size, so I don't think it matters. This is actually kind of cute, okay? It's not like the greatest thing ever, but it's not bad. And it's also better than what I had originally, which is a good thing. I don't really like any of these tiles, so I don't know if I'm gonna use them or not. We could always just do something like this as the backsplash. There's so many different swatches. Like, I don't think I've ever seen this before, if I'm being honest. I never use the My First Pet stuff things though, so that makes sense. But genuinely, I don't know if I've ever seen that. We could totally switch this up and do like mint and yellow. No, I don't like that color. I don't like that swatch at all. We could always do the darker green though, and then try and use this. I think that kind of matches. How do I space this out? Like where does the TV go for it to not look silly? Do we put it in this back corner? Like maybe? We do have some really nice like tiny coffee tables, which will probably benefit us in this situation. I might need to use these. I wonder if I could get like a combo of two round coffee tables. I almost wish they were like nesting or something, but I understand that's not possible. What sort of teal chair options? Oh no, that's from the mosquito stuff pack. I don't want that. This one's from My First Pet stuff. Could use that. This one also kind of, no. Maybe we could bring in like the darker color with that chair. No, I think it's half a space issue. Like this color scheme would look good if I had a little bit more room, but I think because it's so tight in here, I'm like kind of second guessing myself a little bit. How does that chair look? I haven't used this chair either, I don't think. I kind of like that one. It's definitely clipping with the TV stand, but I don't think I care. I don't think that bothers me. I might just let it do that. And then maybe we could get like a cool wallpaper. That one's got the same, no, never mind, sorry. It might have the right colors, but it doesn't look good. I feel like I want this wall to have pattern to it, like some sort of texture. I'm just not really sure what, because like that wall actually looks kind of cool, but is that too much of the same color everywhere? Oh no, 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 no. Don't do that with the polka dots. Maybe once I've gotten some artwork on the walls, it might like start to come together better. I kind of like the idea of making my own sort of custom gallery wall thing. So I'm kind of doing it like this. I don't know what color. I sort of like the cupcake, to be honest. That's cute. So like, how does something like that look? Like kind of asymmetrical with the TV. I was on purpose doing it on just the left side, but I can't tell if it's ugly or not. Oh, this thing might have been good. Plus that brings in some other colors. I'm having a hard time deciding if I like this better or not. I feel like it fit together better before. Actually, I might swap these two, and I think that is better. And we could always use this painting somewhere else. Like there's plenty of wall space in this apartment. Oh my god, rugs are gonna be so hard to place in here. This stupid platform is gonna be a real problem. See, I can't even put this because it like floats like that. Okay. This is fine. Everything is fine. Wait, I have an idea. I think I'm gonna put a hanging plant over here. I feel like a little plant hanging from the ceiling on this side would help balance it out better. I think that's actually perfect. The rug's gonna have to be so small because nothing else works. Or like maybe no rug. I don't know. How about that little base game circle rug? Annoyingly, there isn't really anything that matches that like pastel yellow swatch. Also, what do we put here? Because it's kind of just like empty space right now. Should I do a bookshelf? Actually, I think some shelving on the wall could be nice. We could always use these Dream Home Decorator ones too, just to make it like slightly more interesting shaped, because that has a bunch of like empty cabinets that we can put decor items in. Like for example, little yellow llama things. Also just like extra plants and stuff. Any sort of little colorful item would make a nice touch in here. Oh gosh, and while I'm here, I should probably get some other things that we'll want to put on these shelves, because like those little lemons are cute. I'll probably put that in the kitchen. This is an unassuming candy jar from the paranormal normal stuff pack, which is not something that I anticipated using, but kind of looks good. That one's like fun. It's got colors to it. How about some snow globes? I started using these as like little decorative things recently, and they're so cute. It also fits really well right there. Okay, does this little knitting thing fit in there? Because that's kind of cute too. We have a llama collection. A couple different variants of llamas and some snow globes and unassuming haunted candy jars. Perfect. I actually do like the idea of this painting being right here, but I don't know what color to use. Maybe that one could work. I think I'll also get some little pendant lights above the island. We also need to get some more yellow in here. Maybe there could be yellow on this main wall back there. I'm kind of struggling with how to like paint the walls in here. Obviously you could probably tell. Oh, I want to put this little thing on the coffee table. That takes up like the entire coffee table, but I do like how it looks. It's also kind of cute because it makes it look like very full and very decorated. Do I put that like off center or what? I don't really know. I think off center is good. I'm also gonna scoot the door over, I think, because then I'll have some more space here to put something. I'm also gonna have to play test this. I'm gonna need to bring the sim up here and see if she can actually move around. I feel like it'll be fine, but it's probably good to just make sure before I get too far ahead of myself. Where is she coming from? Down here, okay. Up the stairs, it's already lagging a lot. And I've only done like 2.5 of the apartments. Oh, she made it. Can you come here? Oh, this is fine. Okay, she can get around. Nothing to worry about in there. I really would like to have a more patterned rug. I just can't put one because it floats. Okay, I don't know who built this dumb apartment, but whoever put these silly little platforms here was not very smart. The answer is me. It was me, and I'm not very smart. Now I'm trying to put a couple little decorative things on the kitchen shelves. I'm not really sure how much to put up here or like how much will fit up here because the shelves are not exactly huge. There's not like a ton of space going on in this area. Okay, maybe I should try and block off this counter to like not be used for cooking and they can use this one for cooking. I'm pretty sure they can't get to this counter anyway because of the way it's placed and stuff, so it's probably for the best to just decorate it. These shelves are a lot smaller than the ones that I normally decorate are, so I'm struggling with what to even put on them. Maybe a cookie jar. Okay, the cookie jar is slotting really annoyingly, so that's good. Maybe I could scoot it over. Oh, that's fine. Okay, wait, do it like that. Leave it white. That'll do. I'll just let it be like that. And then over here, we've got a couple little extra useful things like some utensils and some paper towels. I always loved these little cookbooks. I'd put them on top of the fridge, but I don't think they'll slot at like the right height. Yeah, those are kind of floating. I wonder if we can fix that. There's actually a mod that people use for this purpose, but I've noticed that this little cubby shelf works really well because like everything slots to it. So if you're trying to fix this problem of like things not being at the right height, you can put it on top of a shelf, get it to the right height, and then just move it off because then it stays at the right height, and then get rid of the shelf. And then would you look at that, you can fit some cookbooks on top of your Sims fridge. We could probably even put a plant up there or something. This one looks weird. I might use it anyway. I kind of like it. Should I put a fire alarm like right there or something? Just to make sure we have one? I've learned my lesson. My Sims need to have fire alarms. I've got some problems. Oh, this would have been cute. Wait, is that like too much in the way? Or do you think I can make that work? Because I would really love to have some extra shelving in the kitchen. I don't really like any of the colors because we don't have like any wood like that, but can my Sim still walk there? Come here, playtester. Oh, she can. Wait, that's so good though. Having like some more kitchen storage. I'll just use this painting elsewhere. I'll put it in the bathroom or something. I'd rather have the shelf. I need to put something on the shelf though. Maybe I could just do like a plant because that's an easy option and it always looks good. We don't need to have a trash can in here because they have a trash chute right outside. So what's the difference of throwing your trash away right here or like right there? It'll be fine. I almost want to put some pet bowls because we have like a tiny little bit of extra space and I know my Sim can walk here. I sort of like the idea of pretending that we have a dog or something. Now this poor dog is gonna have to walk up so many flights of stairs to get up here, but I love the idea of having a pet and maybe I could give them like a little pet toy box or something. Well, or honestly, just like any pet toys, we could put like a couple little balls in the corner. That thing's kind of creepy. I kind of like it, but I can leave those there for the dog. Okay, this whole time I was trying to get like a decoration thing from Tiny Living and I got so distracted. I was trying to get this and then we like ended up with the shelf thing, but this is the plant that I wanted the whole time before I distracted myself too much. I had originally just used white tile and I think I might keep it like that for this room. We can try and add color in other ways. Oh, did that delete my stuff? It deleted my stuff. Why did you do that? I will never understand this. Why does me painting wallpaper delete my furniture? Look, I put it on that wall. My stuff gets deleted. Stop doing that. I don't want tile on this back wall. I don't need to pick a different different tile, I'll just keep this one. It's fine. I will probably try and have, ooh, no, don't like that. I was gonna say I'd try and have like a fun colored cabinet, but I don't like that one at all. What colors does this one come in? Oh, also like nothing good. The tiny living one might be kind of good because the tiny living one has the blue and the yellow. So maybe I'll use that. I'm also gonna try and scoot this stuff over like as far as I can just to save like as much space as possible because I'd like to get some other storage things in here. Like if we had another cabinet or something, that would be so nice. Obviously, I realize that we might not be able to fit it in here, but it would be useful. It also looks kind of silly, so maybe I should. Fine, I'll just put like a plant or something. The plant is probably better. Toilet paper. I don't really know what else we can fit because even like a rug feels like it might be too busy in here. The floor is just like so small. There's so little space. Bathrobe's always a good bet. Okay, this is kind of cute. I really want to use the bright colored towel, but I feel like it looks silly next to this thing. But maybe I could just do it like that because then I can still have everything I wanted in here and some extra storage. And now that I've done the rest of the apartment, I feel like this rug doesn't match anymore. It might have been like the original inspiration, but I don't think it works anymore. I'm gonna do the same curtains in the bedroom as we did in the other room. And I might also use some of that same brick because I really do like how that looks. I'm not sure where to put the bed. This space is kind of small, but in here I want to have a bed and a desk. Also probably a dresser. I also need to cheat for some money because I spent it all. Potentially something with some yellow on it. Although I'm not really loving any of these. Wait, that one kind of works with like the yellow and the green and stuff. Maybe we could do this, but we could have it be more of a yellow and blue sort of vibe because that bed has more like blue flowers on it. I feel like that's kind of cute, and then we can just get like a nightstand over here next to it. I love these little poofs. I don't know if I can fit those, but I'm gonna try. There's also some really cute like skinny dressers that we have. This one's from Tiny Living, and I've been using a lot of stuff like that in this house. We could even just put that in white and then have it in the corner. Maybe like a bookshelf on top or something. I might stick a little full-length mirror behind the door too, because I'm just thinking like realistically that would be a really useful spot to have one. Unless it would be cuter to have a mirror like above this little dresser. That might actually be better. I think it looks nicer that way. Maybe I'll try and like alt place the decorations though. If I did it like this, I could fit at least one other little decor piece here. And I think that looks better and like more lived in. Do I want to use the desk from the kit? I think I like that this desk has extra storage on it. I'm kind of trying to decide if I like the shape of it. I think I do. I feel like if I do that, I can't use the poofs at the end of the bed though. I like them, but I like having a computer better, I think. I don't know if I want to use that. I might just use a regular computer. Ooh, that one looks nice. This might be a great spot to put a hanging plant up in the corner. I'm gonna be really annoying and like completely alt place everything for this. I'm so sorry, but I'm gonna like it better if I do it this way. Should I give this thing a frog? Like maybe we could have a pet frog. Is that a ridiculous thing to say? Maybe. I'm doing that little shelf trick again. Although annoyingly, the frogs are gonna slot like everywhere. So I'm just gonna put a bunch of frogs on the desk for a sec. This will solve the slotting problem, and then I can move my frog to the correct place. Although, what frog do I want? Oh, I like this little green one. That one's cute. Oh, this is ridiculous. The way I'm trying to fix this slotting problem, it's taking way longer than I thought it would. I just wanted to put a little plant up there. I'm not sure how much stuff I should put on top of the desk. I can't tell like how much is too much. I think that's okay. Oops, forgot a frog. I feel like that looks pretty good. Oh, wow. This lamp has some swatches that I did not know existed. I wanted to do a slightly fuzzy rug from Snowy Escape underneath the bed like this. And I was thinking I might try and do a similar like asymmetrical gallery wall thing over here. I actually really liked how it looked in the living room, so I might try and do something similar, just with maybe like some different swatches or something. We do have some more blue that we could use for this one instead. I need to cheat for money again. I'm spending so much money on this. For a tiny apartment, this one is gonna be really expensive. Right now, I'm just trying to find like one last little thing that I could put on the wall here. I want something kind of small, almost maybe not like that. I just want like a thing. Does that make any sense? How about a cork board? We could put that on. No, let's use the pastel pop kit one. Duh. That will fill that wall nicely. I will put a couple of postcards on there. And then, do I need anything else for the dog? I know I have some toys. I didn't put a dog bed, but I sort of figured the dog could sleep like on the couch or something, unless I wanted to put the dog bed here. I just don't like how the dog beds look in this game. I've never liked them. I think they're kind of ugly. If I'm being honest, I'm not really loving how this wall looks either. Maybe I could do the brick on that wall instead. Would that make the asymmetrical look better? No. It doesn't. The idea was silly. Your idea wasn't good, Kayla. Wait, what if maybe there was like another hanging plant? If we did like 2 hanging plants in the corner, would that fix my problem with like trying to have there be more height dimension? See, I think that might be the issue. I feel like that sort of balances it all out. I think I like that. Okay, I think the apartment is done. Took me long enough. It's not even big. It took me ages. I'm really happy with it though. I feel like it turned out really cute. Like I had mentioned, I've now done a couple videos on this building, so if you want to watch those, I'll link them down below for you. And let me know if I should actually make a video furnishing the last couple. We still have this one that has the balconies, and we have 2 on this first floor. So we're like halfway done. Anyway, thank you for watching. Have the best rest of your day. Also, if you want to maybe decorate the apartments yourselves, I put the entire shell up on the gallery so you can download that and like furnish them yourself. It's kind of nice to have some new apartment options because I've decorated like the city living ones so many times. It's cool to have new ones. But with that, I'm gonna leave you right here. Thank you for watching. Have the best rest of your day, and I'm gonna catch you all tomorrow, okay? Bye, everybody. I think this apartment might be my favorite one so far. I feel like we managed to fit in a lot of stuff into a very small space, and I really like the bedroom a lot.